It's a lovely good afternoon. You are still watching ABN today, and this afternoon we would like just to have a seat, to have a chat rather, with Mr. Isaac Chama, who is Lupososhi aspiring candidate. Sir, good afternoon and welcome to ABN today.
Good afternoon, Christine.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon, viewers.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here, and especially to speak on behalf of the people of Lupososhi.
How is Lupososhi doing? When was the last time you were there?
Well, I was there on Tuesday.
So if I call them, they'll be able to confirm that you were there on Tuesday.
Well, on Tuesday, I actually visited His Royal Highness Chief Chabula. I even visited Edman in Sombo, and I visited the people of Nsombo. Yes, because I have to be in touch with what is on the ground. Yes, please.
Now, you are an aspiring candidate for Lupososhi. I would like to find out, and other people would like to find out too, why Lupososhi?
Lupososhi? Why not Lusaka Central? Why
exactly.
Not, well, in Bemba there's an adage which says, east or west, home is best. Shilungafye iwereroni kwabo. So no matter what you do as an individual, you have to know to say, I've got a home where I'm coming from. So at an appointed time, when you've gained the knowledge, when you've gained the wealth, you have to go back home and invest the knowledge, or share the knowledge, or invest the wealth that you have acquired home. If we can have Zambians in the diaspora coming back home and invest their acquired wealth here, we are going to see a developed Zambia. So for me, I hail from Lupososhi, particularly Chief Katuta, Munshinga village. My mother comes from there, my grandfather, my grandparents, and families there. So to me, Lupososhi is home. It's not like where I just dream to say, oh, okay, let me go and try that. So Lupososhi is home. The people of Lupososhi are family, and I come from Lupososhi, and I'm proud to go back to Lupososhi. And for your information, I did even my secondary school education in Lupososhi. Actually, I started even at Katuta Basic School in Chief Katuta. We used to do what is called weekly boarding, where you go for boarding every week. On Friday you go back home, then Sunday you come back. Then from there I went to Katuta Luwingu Secondary School, and we used to walk all the way from Katuta to Luwingu. We would walk for 2 days to go to the secondary school. So for me, I'm proud of my grade 12 certificate because I really earned it. And I put my time, my energies, and it was not just about me. I was supported by family and the people of Lupososhi, because from Katuta to Luwingu Secondary School, you have to pass through Katilie, you cross Lupososhi River into Chieftainess Chungu, our mother there, then you pass through Mufidi, Maplanga, Ipuskilo, and we would sleep on the way. You would spend the night, and the people would feed us. They would not say, oh, these are students going to school. These are pupils, they will feed us. So after being fed and being helped to acquire this education, why not go back and say thank you? So for me, I'm going back to Lupososhi to say thank you for raising me, thank you for having brought me, and thank you. I'm who I am because of you people.
That was years ago. I'm sure the situation has improved now, right?
Well, unfortunately, no, it is a sad story. You go back home and you realize to say things are much worse than they were probably 20 years ago. Because some feeder roads which were probably graded in the UNIP government have never been graded up to now. And when you look at the people of Lupososhi, we are good voters. You know, when we wanted change, we had to usher in the PF. Lupososhi was the first and the only constituency to give the PF a vote. The first MP came from Lupososhi. But what do have the people of Lupososhi to show for that? Nothing. Probably we took long us, the children of the soil, the son of the soil, to go back home. But I think this time it's a different story.
Right. So you grew up in Lupososhi. So obviously, since I want to believe you are still the son of Lupososhi, you are a son of Lupososhi. So what are the main agricultural activities that people in Lupososhi depend on as a way of making some source as a way of making some cash for themselves?
Well, we cultivate millet. We do cassava.
Okay.
Then there's groundnuts. A bit of rice. We do beans. We have sweet potatoes. It's because of the richness of the soils we have in Lupososhi. Any crop can grow. But now, our people have been made to believe to say you can only grow maize. But now when you look at the process of growing maize, just a cob of maize, you have to have fertilizer.
Right.
And coming from Lupososhi rural setup, we are not rich people like in terms of cash, but we are rich because we have land and we've got the knowledge and the power and the strength. So we are being made to grow maize, where you get a loan. I call it a loan because they'll come and give you fertilizer. It's not for free, you have to pay. And then when it comes to selling, they'll dictate the price.
Right.
For me, they say the floor price is this much, is that. And then if you are doing a business, which you start through a loan, and then somebody dictates, how are you going to pay back? So you find year in and year out, people have to depend on those similar loans again, say, no, we need farming inputs.
Right.
But people given the freedom probably to do away with maize, which is illegal to export, they go for chili, onion, tomato, rice, sugarcane. I think it will be a whole different story.
Now, when you mention that it is a loan for someone to get the farming inputs, which is under FISIP, I want to believe that. It's not like government is putting a cane to someone. It's not like they're putting a gun to a farmer and say, you have to go and do maize. It's like farmers themselves have decided to say, whenever the farming inputs, the only thing I can get for me is maize. You can still do other things.
You know, in the 80s, I think by that time I was in Matipa, in Chief Chuanangala. Should have been in grade 4 then. There came this disease which attacked cassava. It was called cholera. You know, it had like a funny face like a skeleton. So from that point, people were encouraged or discouraged to grow cassava, but to go into maize. So, you know, here you are used to grow this crop where you don't spend much or you don't get into debt to cultivate. And where if you want to extend your field, you just have to cut the stem and plant again.
Right.
You don't need to buy seed. Nobody should give you a loan. So after that, people were taught to say, look, here is the alternative, maize. And people started growing maize. But look at the effect the maize has on the people. From the 80s, that is mid-80s, up to today, people are still dependent on those same loans. So for me, that is not a solution or a total solution to the poverty we are having on the food security. Because people need to grow cash crops. Onions, for your own information, the Congolese, you know, they come into Zambia, they will buy, if you have got 15 hectares, you just plant your seedlings after they grow, maybe probably a month. They'll just come and look at your field, say, okay, this field so much, then they pay you up front. All you have to do is to monitor the field for them. That is the kind of agriculture we need. People need money. And money will only come when people are taught.
So are farmers in Lupososhi aware of that? That, you know, people from Congo can easily come buy your field, pay upfront while the field is still maybe young, for lack of a better term. Do they know that?
Well, with every information is controlled. People are given what they should be given. because I believe somebody benefits from the sale of fertilizer. So if people change to the alternative, they grow cassava, they grow chili, they grow what, they're going to grow less and less maize. But this is what I've been doing as I go to my people. I tell them that we can do this. This is viable. This is profitable. Look at the 50 kg bag, or let me just say 1 kg of maize. When I was coming back on Tuesday, it was being sold at 2 kwacha 43 ngwe per kg of maize. So by 50, it's almost nothing. But look at chili or look at onion. The people need to be taught these things, and I regret having dropped agricultural science when I was in secondary school. I just didn't know what I was doing. In fact, people in secondary school should be encouraged to take on agricultural science, because the future of Zambia is in agriculture. We get nothing from the copper. Should we also get nothing out of the land? The land which we have so abundantly, the soils which are so fertile? I don't think so.
Now, you did mention that some of the agriculture activities, in Lupososhi, people grow millet, there's rice, there's beans, sweet potatoes, just to mention a few. I want to find out, are these crops grown for consumption only, or farmers also make money from them?
Well, from what is on the ground, the people of Lupososhi are very hardworking and they want to do more. But because of the bad state of the roads, people don't want to grow a lot because the food goes to waste. Nobody's going to come and pick the food from where it is being produced or harvested. So the people have to take the food to Luwingu, to Mansa. But to get to the main road, the tar road, the feeder roads are really, really bad. So people only grow enough and a little extra. So going forward, we have to work on the good road network.
Is that why you would want to stand in Lupososhi?
Well, basically yes, because if the road network is as bad as I was when I was in grade 12, then something just needs to be done.
So is it always that we have to stand, as we have to contest as an MP councillor in order for us to bring change? Or maybe you like the way you're doing it right now, like you said, you go and talk to the people in Lupososhi. Do you really have to stand as an MP for you to bring change, or you can still bring change without you being in power?
Well, Zambia, being an independent state, has got order. The constitution prescribes what people should do. So if I just go on my own, start gathering people, that is unlawful assembly. So somebody should have a channel under which somebody should work. There should be order in the way we do things. If I just wake up today and start gathering people, assembling them, that will be quite difficult. Besides, gathering people needs finances. But when you are in government, or when you have that chance, the government has got money, the government has programs. You go to parliament, present your case, come up with policies, come up with laws that are beneficial to your people. Because if I started today to oppose about the export of maize, I'll be opposing the government. But if I'm in parliament, I'll be protected. There are those parliamentary privileges.
So what you're looking for is protection and privilege?
Well, I want to serve the people better.
Through the privilege and protection.
That is the better place to be.
Mr. Chama, I still feel you can assemble the people in Lupososhi and maybe go and have a chat, have a talk maybe with the MP, the councillors. There are people, like you say, there's obviously a channel that you have to follow. Maybe you can go to them and say, look, the roads are bad. Our farmers are complaining here. What can we do? Because I think, I don't know if you've noticed this, roads are being worked on currently. So if I was in Lupososhi and you tell me that we should vote because you are going to work on the road networks, what if someone else works on the road network before you come into power? Then why should they vote for you?
If somebody works on the road now, I think they're even working on the road from Luwingu to Nsombo, and the one which goes to Chieftainess Chungu from Luwingu, on the Mansa Luwingu road, it's been worked on. But where people work on the roads because you are towards elections, and then they'll come after 5 years. I don't want a solution that will only be once in 5 years. It means in the next 20 years, the road will only be worked for on 4 times. And it's not all the roads or all the areas that are touched. It's just a few areas, probably to the chiefdom, to some secondary school there, and it ends there. But we are talking of how many years of independence? Many, many years of independence. Zambia got independent before I was born. But the situation is almost still the same, like in Lupososhi. We voted, I think the current MP is there for 10 years now. And for 10 years...
Any developments?
Well, nothing that is not something that you can point to say, look, we start. Because, you know, as a people, when we vote, we are sending somebody to parliament to represent us.
Exactly.
Our voice should be heard. And we're looking for change in the way we live, in the way we look at things, in the way we do certain things. And as I said, there should be order. So we are asking this person, please, in an orderly manner, represent us so that we can have our voice heard. In an orderly manner, so that we can have this road tarred. In an orderly manner, so that we can have this hospital done. In an ordinary manner, we can have our school leavers given jobs. So you have a situation where some schools, community schools, are manned by untrained teachers. And then you hear there's a lot of teachers who are unemployed. Such things have to be looked at. Besides, we don't have to get teachers from Lusaka. We have a lot of teachers who are unemployed in Lupososhi, in Wingo, nearby there, who wouldn't even worry about being posted into the rural area because they're already in the rural area. But for me, I believe we need to transform that. We have to even come up with a cheap housing policy where each primary school should have at least 10 housing units. So that if a teacher graduates from CBU and sent there, they'll be comfortable. But now, we send people, we want them to go to the village, but we don't give them incentives that are attractive.
So where do you think the current MP has not, I don't want to use the word failed, hasn't done justice, especially in the area of agriculture in Lupososhi?
Well, I'm not here to discuss the current MP.
Right. According to you, yes, we're not discussing the MP, but we're just looking at Lupososhi as a constituency, because you said you've lived there. You are the son of the soil of Lupososhi. So when you look at the way things were when you were a child and now you are an adult and you've shown interest in standing there, obviously there's certain things be like, this has stayed for as long as I can remember. When we talk about agriculture,
so we have farming blocks like Katuta and Chungu. Those farming blocks are underutilized to start with. Then we have a lot of water bodies, and those water bodies are underutilized. We need to work on fish farming on a commercial scale. The people of Lupososhi are strong. They can make dams, give them enough fish, fingerlings, to grow. Other than that, encourage the people to grow more of cassava, because cassava now has got money. You can bring it to Lusaka and sell to the Chinese who are making fuel. You can take it on to Northwestern Province, where they're using it in the refinery of Chobi Gold. So people, our people, need to be encouraged to do that. Our people need to be taught how to grow onion on a commercial scale. Our people, tomatoes they grow, they need to be taught and encouraged and given capacity to grow on a large scale.
Now, as we're about to wind up, if voted into power, what are you going to do for the people in Lupososhi? What exactly are you going to change? Especially for the farmers who are watching.
For the people of Lupososhi,
right,
voted into power. What
if
will
you
I
are
do?
voted into power.
When I'm voted into power. that is the only choice. Because I have the vision because I have the vision, the people of Lupososhi just have to get me there so that this vision that I have can be implemented. And then when I'm gone, somebody will continue on it. So, as I said, we have to utilize on the water bodies. Through tourism, we have 2 lagoons there. We have the Bangweulu, Lake Bangweulu. Then we have to commercialize farming of fish. People need to do that. Then we have to grow sweet potatoes and Irish potatoes on a large scale. Then people should be encouraged to grow beans on a large scale again. And then we also introduce things that are easy to grow, like rabbits and a little more goats, the breeds of goats, so that we balance the diet of people. Then onion as a vegetable and tomato. We have to build the capacity of the people. And on long term, we grow avocados for export to Mauritius. We grow guava so that we can also make our own guava juice. We grow a lot of, we have mango plantations so that we can also have our own embe juice. We can't have a district without a factory and expect ourselves to grow. We need to produce something and localize our own things. Even do the Munkoyo drink. We have a lot of Munkoyo trees there. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through. We hope to have you again soon back here on ABN today.
I'll be delighted. It's been a pleasure.
Right. So that was Mr. Isaac Chama, an aspiring candidate for Lupososhi Constituency, just talking to us about the farming activities, some of the challenges that he has observed as a son of Lupososhi. This is ABN Today.